Tomorrow, yes, 4 more states hold primary elections, 41 down, 9 to go, plus the District of Columbia. I hereby confidently predict that the results of tomorrow's elections will be more of this.
It looks like Meek is pulling it out, but anything can happen in an anti-incumbent mood of an election.
And it's an anti-incumbent year, so for Washington, it's not so popular to be seen with the ultimate insider in some ways.
There's been a lot of talk, of course, over the past few months, this strong anti-incumbent feeling in many areas of the country.
You know, that started off, that whole anti-incumbent thing, started off as a headline when the primary season started back in February. Back then, people at least tried to offer some factual evidence to back it up as an assertion. Now that doesn't even happen anymore. It's just the received common wisdom. It's the politics story that wants to be told, and no matter how much the facts, actual election results contradict that story, the story remains. Check out this contortion in today's Washington Post in an article about tomorrow's primaries. Quote, see if you can follow this. The contests offer more evidence that establishment candidates can prosper in this year of the outsider. Translation, we're still calling it the year of the outsider, no matter how many outsiders lose. No matter how many insiders win. We like this story too much to change the headline. This was another one, another really good one. This was from the Associated Press last week before Washington State's primary. Here's the quote. Fighting off anti-incumbent fervor, President Obama is rallying Tuesday for Senator Patty Murray of Washington. And then after Senator Murray won that primary, there was this from the Seattle Times. Quote, the primary results in both the Senate and congressional races showed few signs of the sweeping anti-incumbent sentiment seen in some other states. It's sweeping, but you know how a corn broom has little lines, little spaces in between the individual? It's sweeping. It just missed some spots. We know the story must be true because everybody keeps saying it is, even though the evidence we are directly reporting directly contradicts the story. But stick with the story. Why? What if there isn't a huge anti-incumbent wave evident in this year's elections? What if the Beltway media's chosen narrative for explaining politics this year isn't borne out by the facts? What if it just isn't true? How would we know? Here's a little experiment. Look at this. These are the names of incumbents who have won their primary elections this season. By our count, there are 317 of them. You know what? I don't think we're going to have time to go through all of these. Rob, do you mind if we just switch to the other one? The one of the incumbents who didn't win their primaries? Can we switch over to that one? That's it? That's it. 7 incumbents lost out of 324 races. 1 governor, 2 senators, 4 members of Congress. The latest congressperson to lose her seat in a primary was Carolyn Cheeks Kilpatrick, mother of Kwame Kilpatrick, as in the Detroit mayor who is now serving 18 months to 5 years in prison for violating probation on a previous conviction. Here's how the Associated Press's political writer described her downfall. Quote, incumbents beware! Another lawmaker just bit the dust in a year when fickle voters seem eager to fire longtime lawmakers. Yeah, voters sure have been eager to get rid of 7 of them out of 324, including Kwame Kilpatrick's mom, who's supposed to be representative of what every other lawmaker in the country is going through this year because they're all Kwame's mom too? Tomorrow we have 2 high-profile races involving incumbents. Senator John McCain, who is fighting against J.D. Hayworth to try to hold on to his Senate seat, and Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who is fighting a challenge from a man named Joe Miller, whose name is very easy to spell and who was endorsed by Sarah Palin. I don't know how much stock you put in polling, but polls do show both incumbents are expected to win. If these 2 more incumbents do win tomorrow, expect headlines like, anti-incumbent mood fails to take Murkowski down. Or, John McCain escapes anti-incumbent wave. The anti-incumbent wave, we swear, still exists, despite the fact that everybody seems to be escaping it. Sometimes big news narratives make the facts make more sense. They make disparate data points more understandable. And sometimes they are lazy nonsense, unperturbed by actual news and driven by mindless repetition. Tomorrow and for the rest of this election season, beware of lazy nonsense and mindless repetition.